You see, when people like Femi Falana, who is the lawyer to channels on all these things, lies. I mean, a senior advocate, you go to court, you lie that the issue of defection is at the Federal High Court. You refuse to tell people that you did what they call a cross appeal. When the Court of Appeal gave judgment that these people had defected, you had a cross appeal in Supreme Court. And Supreme Court made a pronouncement about it. You lied.
So will you...
When the judgment came out, people said, I think they said Supreme Court has not pronounced on the defection. What happened a few days ago? Federal Court said Supreme Court has settled this matter of defection. Now, if such people at that level can come out on national television and lie, and you may not take it serious, but it's very hurting. And lies can cause a lot of crisis. Before you know it, so many things have gone wrong. And there are things you don't do. And that's what the problem I have with some senior lawyers who live on telling lies. Lies.
After Wike said this about human rights lawyer Femi Falana, Falana has responded by telling Wike that he is the only live bencher without a courtroom record. He has never filed a case in any court. Only a corrupt lawyer wins all cases in court. You win some and you lose some. In a statement Falana released to the press, he said, in a recent media outburst, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, taunted me for losing a case which he won at the Supreme Court. He went as far as dubbing me a television lawyer. However, I did not respond at the time because Mr. Nyesom Wike is the only live bencher in Nigeria who has never handled a case in any trial or appellate court. Contrary to Mr. Wike's assertion, I did not lie against the Supreme Court. All I said was that the matter of the defection of the 27 legislators was raised suo motu and determined by the eminent justices of the Apex Court. We will come back to what suo motu means. It is public knowledge that Mr. Wike praised the Supreme Court to high heavens and held a Thanksgiving service to celebrate the decision. However, he has decided to attack me for commenting on the same judgment without any legal justification. I would have ignored the minister's latest gratuitous attack, but he recently urged the body of benchers to sanction lawyers who criticize judgments of Nigerian courts, unlike Mr. Wike, who calls judges names when they disagree with his politics of opportunism. I have always criticized judicial decisions with utmost decorum and in good faith. As Justice Oputa famously stated, we are final not because we are infallible. We are infallible because we are final. It may interest Mr. Wike to know that from time to time, many respected justices commend my critique of court decisions and my defense of the judiciary. At a recent valedictory session, a retiring Supreme Court justice referred positively to one of my critical remarks. No doubt the decision of the Supreme Court is final on defection. Their lordships said that it must be proved by producing the membership register of political parties. But my fear is that this ruling could be used by unpatriotic politicians to justify political prostitution. This is not the first time Falana is throwing jabs at Wike. Remember last year he told Wike, you have cases in court. You can't be gifting cars or houses to judges who are going to determine your cases. This is common sense. It's just that Nigeria is the theater of the absurd. They can justify anything. All the justices accepting gifts from the executive branch, they are putting themselves into conflict of interest. They should recuse themselves in the future in cases that come from the executive branch, not just Wike. Because Wike represents the executive branch, they can use him to get whatever they want from the judicial branch. Now, to what suo motu means, it's an action a court takes without the parties requesting for it. Under normal circumstances, if someone, a plaintiff, approaches a court to make a plea, take a civil case for instance, he's seeking for compensation for someone who libeled him, he will now ask the court, please, this is what this person did to me, and if you decide in my favor, please award me so millions of naira, something like that. So everything the person demanded from the courts, the final judgment should align with what the person demanded. The court should not go the extra mile to award something the person didn't demand in the first place. It's an overreach if a court does that. So this was exactly what the Supreme Court justices did. No matter how Wike and others want to paint it, the truth remains that it was not in front of the Supreme Court. The issue of defection of 27 lawmakers in Rivers State was still stuck at the Federal High Court in Rivers State. So Wike talking about cross appeal and all that, how can Femi Falana, who is the lawyer to Sim Fubara and others challenging the defection, not know about the appeal they made at the Supreme Court? The level of corruption in the judiciary will make a seasoned, intelligent lawyer look like he doesn't know his job. He doesn't know what he's doing just because he simply refused to swim in the waters of corruption with them. This is like what happened during the Presidential Election Tribunal in 2023. Many lawyers were certain that the justices would hold Tinubu at least on one ground out of many grounds for his disqualification. But at the end of the day, they conjured their abracadabra and the rest is history. They are doing the same thing right now. How can the Supreme Court justices say that before you prove defection, that you must produce the party register? On the other hand, Wike is saying that until the speaker declares a seat of a lawmaker vacant, that no defection happened. He cited what is happening at the National Assembly as an example. He has become a law unto himself. Whatever they want, however they want it, what they need to do is to embark on it. And when it gets to court, the judicial branch will uphold them without minding whether it's a dangerous precedent. How can Supreme Court justices say that in order to prove defection, you must produce the party register? If you're not a member of that party, how do you get hold of that? In fact, this is like giving corrupt politicians an open check. Defect however you want, how many times you want in a single term. There is no repercussion. No one can declare your seat vacant. Once you belong to the party in power, nothing can happen to your seat. But this is not the intention of the Constitution. Original intention was to stop people from decamping. When you are elected under a particular party, you must remain in that party because the votes do not belong to you. This is coming from Wike himself.
To make a pronouncement. So everybody will have to be careful. You give somebody an umbrella, the next day he defects. EFCC will come, he said, no, let me join them, so EFCC will not be against you. You carry the vote of another party, and you join another party. Can you transfer vote? You work hard for somebody to win the election. Tomorrow the person says, no, I have defected. If you are defecting, leave the seat. If you know it is easy.
This is how the goalposts keep changing. Yesterday he was against the campaign. Today he's for the campaign. He's supporting the campaign. When someone in the future is able to tender the evidence, that's getting hold of the party register to prove that someone decamped, they will invent another thing, another narrative, another technicality to say that the person never decamped. That's why you can never win against these people. It's not possible. No matter how big you are, no matter how wealthy you are, how connected you are, once you are not in their circle, you are against what they stand for. You can never win against them. It's not possible. Take for instance Wike. All his political cases, he has never lost a single one of them. What does that tell you? That's why they arrogantly tell their opponents, go to court. They know you can never win against them. Whatever they want, the judicial branch is there to legalize and legitimize whatever they are doing. This is why Nigerians must take all this very seriously, because these people are setting dangerous precedents. All that happened during the litigation of the 2023 presidential election, now they are taking it to another level. All these things they are saying, all these judgments, they have serious repercussions. Imagine when someone is in control of a House of Assembly or Federal House, for instance, he can move all the members to another party to effect a change or achieve whatever purpose they want without the court intervening because already their hands have been tied. Going by recent decisions of many courts in Nigeria, you will see that these justices are using technicalities to rewrite our laws. They are abusing their powers to interpret the laws anyhow they want, deviating completely from the original intention. If the intention of the law is to stop people from defecting from one party to the other, it is the responsibility of the judge to make sure that he doesn't help a defector, someone who already left his party, in contravention of the law to achieve his aim. Yes, people who are already celebrating, waving flag of the party, doing all sorts of things, they went on national television to justify why they decamped to the new party. They also swore to an affidavit justifying why they decamped to the new party, that they didn't break any law, that their party, PDP, was in disarray. Now, justices saw all this evidence and looked the other way, helped people to break the law, which is against the original intention of the law. How can this be justifiable? This is not justice. They always push the burden to the opposition. Like in this case, Sim Fubara came to court to ask them to determine whether the 27 lawmakers decamped or not. So going by the Supreme Court judgment, they are effectively telling Sim Fubara, go and get the evidence from the party. That's APC. Go and get that party register. When you present the evidence in court, they will now see if they truly decamped or not, which is practically impossible. Anyway, despite the fact that they keep obtaining these wins, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have truly won. The ultimate deciders of the win are the people. It now depends on whether the people will live up to the expectation and wake up and say, no, this is our time, we make the decisions, we'll make sure these people stop giving these ridiculous rulings. Thanks for watching.